Welcome everybody, I'm Lizzie Brooks, and this is where muscle meets mindful and seriously good yoga isn't too serious. Today we're going to talk about something that is very serious, and that is, why does Zoom keep kicking me off? So I don't know about you, but probably since you're here, you have experienced this, and I'm so sorry, because as a fellow person and teacher who has experienced this, it is maddening. We're all trying to put out a really professional product, and these people are relying on us, and we keep getting kicked off. Or we're just in a meeting and we need to get information, and we can't get that information. So I used to have this problem. I no longer have this problem. Let me say a prayer. Let me make sure that I don't get struck by lightning. But I have a lot of tips that I learned that have been totally helpful. I no longer have these issues. And that's because I've been teaching yoga online, and who wants to have their yoga class get kicked off? And if you're interested in my live Zoom classes, go down to the description below. I'd love to have you. So first things first, and I have some notes. If you have an old router, it's time to probably look into buying a new one, if that's in your budget. If it's really, really old and it's got a good layer of dust on it, it's a good thing to check just getting an updated router. So I have about 7 or 8 things. 2, call your internet provider and let them know that you're having this issue, and they can actually do a diagnostic test and test your connection. And they can actually even do things to send you a stronger connection. So they have a lot of power on their end. Let them do that for you. Some things that you can do for your own diagnostics, and super, super simple, is go to speedtest.net, and you can actually do a diagnostic there and see, well, what is your Wi-Fi? Is it fast? Are you getting a good connection? And you will know. If you can connect your router directly, like with a cable, to whatever device you're using, like, that's awesome. But I know for a lot of us, the router is in another room to where we're having our Zoom meeting or doing our recordings over Zoom and classes like that. So sometimes that's not possible, but that will generally give you a stronger connection. If you are in another room, I have the perfect thing, which has been very helpful for me, which is a Wi-Fi extender. And there's many different ones. We got one that's under $30, but it just plugs into an outlet. And I've put it in the path from our router downstairs in the study into a plug that is near the stairwell where that starts, all the way up to my room. So it's kind of halfway in between, and we have a nice 5G network that the Wi-Fi pulls off of from that, and that has made the Wi-Fi upstairs much, much stronger. And you want to make sure that you are pulling from that one. So when you do connect to do Zoom, go to your settings and see which Wi-Fi you're pulling off of if you have a few of them. Make sure you're on the strongest Wi-Fi connection. You also want to turn off the Wi-Fi that other computers are using or other devices are using if you can. Now I know you can't, you have a family maybe and they're using that, but if there's just some wireless something that's connecting, shut it down, and hopefully that will allow your signal to be stronger. You can also just unplug and plug in your router. So sometimes just, like with everything, shut it off, turn it back on, and see if that is helpful. I also recommend shutting off your device that you're going to do the Zoom on before you actually do it. Kind of clear things off, start with a little bit stronger pathway, close out all those windows that you don't need open, etc. Let's see what else. Turn it off. Yeah, and that is, those things all together have made a night and day difference. And always make sure that you have the latest version of Zoom. So if there's any updates that your computer needs, that Zoom needs, anything, I just like to just make sure there's nothing that isn't completely up to date when I know that I'm going to be doing a meeting. So I hope that this is helpful for you. If you have any questions below, please ask. For those of you who are teachers and who want really detailed information about how to go online, I have a lot of information about going onto YouTube, all the devices you'll need for that. Also Zoom. I have an $8 guide on my website, LizzieBrooksYoga.com. So please do check that out. And feel free to send me a donation if you like. I'm never gonna say no. So I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you have endless Zoom classes where no one ever gets kicked off. Namaste.